I don't know if I have enough energy for an oh my goodness chat. Two hours of my life I can't get back. AEW Dynamite leaves the United Kingdom this past weekend in front of 19,000 people to return back to the United States and conduct business on Dynamite in front of 900. When you start to realize that the company is being led by an absolute idiot and AEW is nothing than a glorified television fiasco reminiscent of a mud show indie, the easier this will be to digest. AEW returns to the United States at the ECW Arena, mixed with terrible sounds, echoes, horrible TV production, and 2 hours that largely did not make any sense outside of the opening segment. I'm not in a good mood, ladies and gentlemen, and I have quite the headache. So you, the viewer, might be in for one hell of a stream. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to the beer garden because I believe this may be one of the last couple of weeks it's open. So when I get there on this Wednesday night, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very... Oh, my goodness, man. What's the feedback over there? What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your AEW Dynamite post show for August 27th, 2025. I am your host, JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS Beer Garden. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on this Wednesday evening, wherever you may be, joined by the man who has been benched by YouTube, not for 1 day, for 7 days, brother. What's going on, man? Just...
Hello. Thank you. Starting every fucking show off like that from now on. Okay.
What are you talking about?
Good, bro. How are you?
What's going on, man? Can I bust your balls, man? Come on, man. How long we known each other, man? I can't bust your balls. Now I can't even hear him.
Yeah, boy. Let's go.
You all right?
Yeah, man. I'm like I said, man. Everything is hunky dory over here, bro.
What's the problem? What'd I do now?
Nothing, man. How was the show, bro?
I'm gonna ask you, how was the show, man? I usually ask you first before you ask me. How was the show?
The show sucked, bro. The show sucked, man.
There you go. We can end the review right there.
Show sucked.
Honestly, we could get off here, go on Destiny, and just get to bed early. You know.
I know, man. I know. I mean, see, it's everybody, bro. You started the last fucking show off like this, man.
What are you talking about?
I said,
What are you talking about?
nothing, bro. How's the show?
I don't know. I'm asking you. How's the show?
Show sucked. Like I said, man. Show sucked.
You had nothing else to add on top of that?
You don't?
I got plenty to say, man. I'm waiting for you.
Let's hear it.
You go. You usually start us off, man. What the fuck is going on?
Nothing, bro. I mean, nothing, man. The show was not good, man. The crowd was small. There's no stories. The show sucked, bro. I mean, you know,
There's no takeaways at all. No, nothing of importance that you want to talk about tonight.
Yeah, bro. Lead us off. What you got?
I don't know. I said pretty much a lot of what I want to get off my chest here, man. They go from 19,000 to 900 people.
Jesse's a miserable dude. What the fuck? Get over yourself. See, I mean,
who said what? What happened? I don't know what's going on here.
I know, bro. I know, bro.
Biggest takeaway tonight, man. Let's go.
The show lacked any progression of any real storylines, man. There was no MJF. What else? The Hurt Syndicate is focused their attention to the guys who did not take away their tag team titles for some reason. It was just boring.
It was boring.
It was boring, man.
There's not one thing you want to talk about. Lead us off, Barry. You got the ball. What's the biggest takeaway?
What the fucking okay. All right.
Give me one talking point.
The Hurt Syndicate.
There you go. Talk about it.
Oh, okay. All right. Why did they not focus on Brodito and Brody King, and instead they focused on the Gates of Agony?
I don't know. I was actually surprised to see them on the show tonight. I wasn't even expecting them.
Why would they not be on the show?
I don't know. It's AEW. We didn't see MJF tonight.
We didn't see a lot of people on the show tonight.
We got no real answers to anything.
No, we didn't. The show sucked.
Well, I'm going to start us off. With the biggest thing that I noticed, because it was a huge fucking eyesore. And that is, the lack of follow-up from these AEW pay-per-views. I don't know why it's so difficult to tell stories on Sunday, very little story on Sunday, and then not focus on them on Wednesday. You have 3 days to get your ducks in a row, and they don't even bother. They're all stuck on nostalgia and being in Philadelphia at the 2300 Arena, reliving old ECW and getting those old ECW feels. They're more in tune with giving Claudio and Darby a spot from 1997, reliving Bam Bam Bigelow and Spike Dudley. Meanwhile, you can't even be bothered to give me a reason why Wardlow is even in the fucking Don Callis family and why he was out there on Sunday night attacking Prince Nana, eyeing Swerve Strickland down before Swerve goes away for 67 months. Do you care to tell me how and why that all came about on Sunday? This is the type of story. This is the type of storytelling that we're telling on Wednesday nights, and nobody has a fucking problem with it.
You asked me what we should start with, and I said the Hurt Syndicate, and you're talking about everything but now.
I know, we're gonna get to it. That was my takeaway.
I thought we were gonna start with what I wanted to start with. I said the Hurt Syndicate.
All right, yeah, we'll get there. You didn't give me enough juice, bro. You didn't squeeze enough juice out of the orange.
Oh my God. All right, what you got?
I just told you.
It's awesome, bro.
That's all. I mean, Wardlow being on this show after 2.5 years almost being out of action because of injuries and because AEW doesn't want to use him or don't know how to use him. AEW has opted to once again put him in a faction and basically make everything that I said on Sunday factual information. The Don Callis family is nothing more than a landfill of talent that nobody knows how to guide, creatively write for, or direct. And yet you put Wardlow in yet another faction and hide him behind now a group of fucking triple the amount of people that he's usually around. And you want to have him just stand out there and look pretty in a fucking suit. Is that all that this guy is going to amount to? Why did you even bother bringing him back to television? What type of direction is that? What am I supposed to get excited about there? How the fuck do you have that segment play out on Sunday night and then you don't even bother to give this guy a fucking microphone and give us a reason as to why? That's what I'm really focusing on. That was, to me, the most egregious thing on the entire fucking show. 2 years that we waited for this guy to get back to television. Not one fucking word out of his mouth. He's over there fixing his fucking his cuffs on his shirt and fixing his watch. That's all he's worth.
No, that's definitely a problem. I mean, not even Don Callis spoke for him, which I thought was his job.
Nothing. Not even a fucking word. I don't know if they're teasing Adam Page versus somebody in the Don Callis family at All Out. Some people were saying that it might be Wardlow versus Adam Page for the World Championship. Why on fucking planet Earth would you even go in that direction? The guy hasn't done anything for a World Championship match. All of a sudden, we get Wardlow, Don Callis family coming out to confront Adam Page. Kenny Omega was out there too. We're going back to that. I thought they were all done with. I don't understand how we go from point A to point fucking F. Kenny Omega lost the Unified Championship to Okada. He shows up on 0 television shows, gets thrown into a steel cage match with the Death Riders, and then the next week he's back into a feud with the Don Callis family. Does anybody want to explain why? How did we get from that to this? Why didn't Wardlow get a fucking word in? Why didn't Don Callis speak for Wardlow? Why is the Don Callis family now targeting Adam Page? I need some answers here, bro. Like I don't know exactly what's going on.
You said why are they now targeting Adam Page?
Why are they now targeting Adam Page? Yeah.
I figured because he's the world champion. I figured. I mean, they got like half the goddamn roster in his family, right? Should he? I mean, my question is, he wants to target Adam Page, and he brought out like the 4 jobbers of his family to do so.
I don't know. Well, none of the people in the Don Callis family really deserve a championship. Maybe Takeshita. Like, you could sell me Takeshita on a fucking plate and say, yeah, he's getting a championship match. Fine. I'm not going to scoff at that. But even him, what has he done to deserve a championship match? What has anybody in the Don Callis family done to deserve a championship match? If it ends up being Wardlow, what has he done to deserve a championship match? Like, that entire segment didn't lead to anything. And the next thing you know, they got another all-star 8-man tag team match that they're booking for next week. Like, you went from everything that I just mentioned to another all-star 8-man tag team match, and none of these people have anything to do with each other. Very, very confusing. So that was the one thing that I didn't like about the show. You mentioned you didn't like the Hurt Syndicate. I'll let you take the reins here. The Hurt Syndicate shit, you know, Ricochet and the Gates of Agony, they cost the Hurt Syndicate the tag team championships at the pay-per-view. Now, that was 8 months in the making. They haven't even had anything to do with each other. Now, all of a sudden, they want to sell us on Ricochet has a problem with the Hurt Syndicate because of what happened 8 months ago. But I don't really get a sense that anybody gives a shit here. What didn't you like about that segment?
I feel like they lost the tag team titles and they don't give a shit.
Well, do you want to see them as the tag team champions again is the question.
I want to see them give a shit. I want to see them care. If they lost the tag team titles and they don't care, how important are the tag team titles? They don't care. If they don't care about them, why should we? I mean, they seem like the kind of faction that would come out trying to get their titles back, trying to fix how they were wronged, you know, trying to get back what's theirs. But instead, they've just already moved on to the Gates of Agony. So if they want to do I want to see them as tag team champions? No, but I want to see them give a shit. So I'd rather see them come out and go after Bandito and Brody King. And then maybe in the process of that, then they get jumped by Gates of Agony, distracting their attention and then moving their focus over to them because they got in their business. But instead, they come out the next show after a pay-per-view after losing the tag titles and are just like, now we hate the Gates of Agony. Why? They don't hold your fucking titles. The other guys do.
Well, I don't even know why they were in a trios championship match. Like, how did we even get there? Number one. Number two, I don't really understand why we needed that match and not an explanation as to why Ricochet and the Gates of Agony did what they did. Never mind going after the fucking champions. It's all about these guys costing them the titles. I'm sure they want to get back there, but the first order of business tonight should have been Ricochet and giving him a microphone and telling us why he did what he did at the pay-per-view. Did he act on his own because he held this anger in for 8 months about how the Hurt Syndicate treated him when he first got here because they were looking to get a member or he was looking to join them? What was this a business deal by MJF? You didn't tell me anything. You just threw them in a fucking match and then had MVP of all people cost them the trio championship match against the OPPS tonight. And then the post-match happened and they brawled to the back and that was basically it. Nothing happened. No words thrown around between them. It was almost as if none of it even mattered. This is the level of storytelling that we're getting in AEW. They want to give you these matches and they want to give you these brawls, but the most important thing that they need to do is give me a segment or a fucking promo or something that tells us why exactly what we saw on Sunday, why all that happened, so we can get from point A to point B. So you wasted realistically an entire week of television without giving us a key component of the story. That's my problem with this fucking show on both situations, not only with Wardlow, but with this. It's just staring you in the face and there's no fucking continuation here. It's like, all right, they're involved with each other. Let's get them out there to brawl and we'll move on to the next segment. But why? They haven't had anything to do with each other in 9 months. What am I supposed to come up with a fucking reason on my own?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
There was no MJF. I guess MJF didn't want to travel to Philly tonight. What is he thinking after he got screwed?
They gave us a recorded backstage promo that they recorded right after the match.
Yeah, it was after the match on Sunday, but he said that he now has to abide by the new rule of this contract.
Right.
I don't know, man.
Again, it's so stupid. It's so they took all of the fun out of the cash in. It's so stupid.
Wheeler Yuta got an in-ring promo tonight. You believe that? For what? I don't know.
Isn't he from Philly?
I believe he is, yeah.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean put him on TV?
Hey, Wheeler Yuta is over.
Yeah, Wheeler Yuta is over, and more people were chanting for Wheeler Yuta than they were Danny Garcia wrestling their leader, Jon Moxley.
Very true. But again, he's from Philly, though. I mean, that's his hometown, so they're going to give him extra heat because that's the hometown guy.
I don't know. This show was, listen, this show, the optics of what AEW does, this is the second time it's been just in your face. They did the same thing coming out of All In. They had 25,000 people in Arlington, and then they go right into a residency in Cincinnati in front of 1,100 people. They did 19,000 in the O2 in London, and they come back to the United States and are in another residency in front of 900 people. The optics of it look terrible. The sound of this show was terrible. I watched it on TBS. This show sounded terrible. It looked terrible. The only thing that I really liked about the overall setup here was the aisleway. It was a nice homage to ECW with the chain link fence and the wide aisleway. But the sound of this show was terrible. The optics of this show were terrible. There's a fucking petition going on. There's strikes going on outside the venue. For what reason, I don't know. Something to do with the union workers outside. No idea. I didn't even dive into that story.
They showed that?
No, they didn't show that. That was all over social media today.
Yeah,
I don't know what was going on with that story, but that made the rounds today. Everything sounded like it was in a fucking wind tunnel. The promos and the vignettes that they showed echoed. Everything echoed. The sound of the ring was awful. It didn't have that nice crunch or nice bounce, that nice sound. The whole fucking production side was awful tonight. And I'm not the only one that experienced that, but everybody's going to look past that and bypass that because they're in the 2300 arena and they're paying homage to ECW, and Tony Khan couldn't wait to get there. He's unbelievable, over the moon about doing a show and a TV taping from the ECW arena. Meanwhile, the show that he put on was fucking embarrassing, and he can't even be bothered to tell actual story. So I don't know how anybody enjoyed this show tonight. We're going to try and break this thing down the best that we can. And this is your AEW Dynamite post show right here on Off the Script. It is August 27th, 2025. Thank you guys for joining us here on your Wednesday nights. Yes, it was Jobber Production, MK. Yes, it was Jobber Production. Make sure you guys follow us on social media at JDfromNY206, at Chi-Town Smark. Make sure you guys go also hit the subscribe button over here and on Jesse's channel as well. I'll link to his channel down below in the description of this very video. Is there a collision corner tonight, bro?
Do we really need one, though?
I'll leave it up to you, man. You're Mr. Corner.
I did one. Yeah, we'll do one, man.
What do you want the goal to be? 750, 800?
Nah, you call it, bro.
750 for collision corner. Jesse's got a collision corner that he doesn't want to do because I'm assuming the show was awful. So make sure you guys go and do that if you guys want to see that. It will happen as soon as we hit 750 likes, no matter what we're talking about or what we're doing. We'll break into collision corner. So go and do that. Super chats are open. Get them on, and it's the best way to support what we do here. Go check out all of the other content on the channel. Monday Night Raw, Tuesday Night Titans. Last night we had 3,700 people live for episode 109 with me and the Solomon. So go and check that out. We talked about the Raja Jackson Psycho Stu situation. Solomonster actually just uploaded a video as well on top of what we talked about last night. I made one. He made one. We talked about it together last night. I believe if Jesse has time, he's going to speak on the topic as well on his channel. So make sure you guys go subscribe over there. It's a big deal. But Psycho Stu has regained consciousness from the last that I saw on social media. He is sitting upright in his bed, and he is surrounded by friends and family. So hopefully he will be on the mend and recovering very, very soon from that deplorable act. Make sure you guys check that out. And as always, you guys know what to do, man. Support and all that good stuff. We appreciate you very much. I got some brand new sponsors coming up this week as well. Look out for that. And Friday, I will be back live with Friday Night SmackDown. And this weekend, remember, it's Clash in Paris. I will be live after the show is over. So it's going to be a great way to round out the month of August, man. Thank you for all the great support this August. Probably going to end up being the best August that we've had. Thanks to you guys. Charles 616. I have two Dynamite audiences watching live. What are you talking about? I don't understand what you're talking about. 2 Dynamite audiences watching live? I have one What's going on here? Hold on. Let me see. What do you mean? I'm on Twitter and I'm on YouTube. I don't understand what you mean. Two audiences? We're only live on one platform, bro. Don't know what you're talking about. 2,100 people. Let's get into this, man. We are going to start off with the top. Live from the ECW arena. Aesthetics looked really good. Sound was awful, like I mentioned. Not much happened there as far as, you know, the way that they set it up. It was a clear homage to ECW. And they started the show off tonight with FTR. This was the best segment of the entire show. This was the only thing that I really enjoyed on this show. I thought it was not only a good continuous storyline going into where we need to be at All Out, but I did think that Christian and Adam Copeland really are starting to get on the same page, which is a nice thing to see. So Dax is out there, and he had microphone problems, and they had to fix his microphone at the top of the hour. They finally got that situated. He said, unfortunately, at Forbidden Door, there was a miscarriage of justice surrounding their match, and he knows fans in Philadelphia were upset that they were not able to celebrate the 11th World Tag Team title reign of FTR. I guarantee you nobody's upset about that. Nobody cares. That was met with shut the fuck up chants, and Taz said, welcome to Philadelphia. Harwood said he was pinned by someone who wasn't the legal man, so he wants to have a word with referee Paul Turner, who was in the ring. Now, I never know who the legal man is in these tag team matches. It wouldn't have been a problem if the original rules stayed, which would have been a Texas Tornado triple threat match, and then we all of a sudden got a standard triple threat tag team title match at Forbidden Door with tags. So I don't know how anybody realized who the legal man was. Normally halfway through in these over-the-top tag team matches, AEW doesn't even know who the legal man is. So now we're making a big deal, Jesse, out of who the legal man is.
Two questions.
Yeah.
Are there disqualifications in any triple threat match in pro wrestling?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Then question number two, why would you sit there on the ring apron waiting for a tag?
I don't know. It's a good point.
Okay. Just wondering.
You know, Dax is the tag team professional, bro. You think you know this.
If you can't get DQ'd, why are you standing there holding the tag rope following the fucking rules?
Oh my God. I don't know, man. I really don't. That's a good point. Maybe they didn't maybe they missed the production meeting at the 2300 arena tonight, bro. I don't know.
Just wondering.
Anyway, Paul Turner's out there. Harwood called him an incompetent moron and a failure. No, that's more like your boss, Dax. But the referee, Paul Turner, is probably one of the better ones that they got. He demanded Paul Turner to admit he was wrong and overturn his decision from Sunday and make them the AEW Tag Team Champions. Paul Turner apologized but said his decision was ultimately final. Stokely then ripped the microphone away from Dax and called Paul Turner a moron and a nincompoop who wants to appease the online fans. Again, that's more so your boss, Stokely, not Paul Turner. Demanding Turner to hop off the internet fans' ass and do the right thing, Stokely then shoves Paul Turner. FTR stepped in between them because Paul Turner started to get angry, and Adam Copeland's music hit, and it pained me to hear Alter Bridge as it was coming through a fucking plastic cup. That's what it sounded like. Copeland's entrance, he was looking back and wondering where his tag team partner was, Christian Cage. He looked back 2 or 3 different times. Nobody came out, but Christian Cage ended up sneaking up from behind FTR and Stokely and delivered a kill switch to Stokely. And then a big brawl happened with Copeland, Cage, and FTR. They brawled all over ringside. They were separated by a lot of security and referees. One of the security guards I noticed was former HOG House of Glory World Champion Anthony Gangone, the longest reigning HOG World Champion of all time. Nice to see him out there getting some extra work out there. Good luck to him. So they brawled. And after a brawl and everybody was separated, Cage takes the microphone and says at Forbidden Door they took care of his problem. Now it's time to take care of Copeland's. Now, I don't know, Jesse, if they took care of Cage's problem because Nick Wayne is ultimately the problem, and Nick Wayne is injured, and Nick Wayne didn't wrestle at Forbidden Door. So what exactly, or I should say, how much of Cage's problem was taken care of exactly? Not much if Nick Wayne wasn't there, right?
Yeah, not all of it. I mean, he couldn't be there, so.
Well, I guess then don't say that his problem's taken care of because clearly it's not. Nick Wayne's got to be there.
Well, how did Nick Wayne get injured?
Apparently, he stepped the wrong way 2 weeks ago and rolled his foot, which I really didn't see live as it was happening, but this is what I was told. But I remember after the segment, he was walking and operating just fine, and then all of a sudden, we find out that he's injured.
Was it during a match?
No, it was during that segment. It was during a segment on Dynamite 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say they could have rolled it into, hey, we put Nick Wayne on the shelf. He's the reason, we're the reason he's out. Which, by the way, if he didn't get flat out injured on TV, visually on TV, I don't know why they didn't do a segment where Christian or Edge didn't just take him out and put him on the shelf, and then they could have started bragging about we put Nick Wayne on the shelf.
I don't know. Something should have been said. Apparently, they said their problem's taken care of now because they beat Kip Sabian and Luchasaurus, who we also didn't see tonight.
Yeah.
You would think that stories that happened on Sunday, we'd get some continuity going into Wednesday. I don't understand why we didn't see him either. So Cage understands Harwood and Wheeler have fathers. Copeland looked over at him and said, do we really have to do this? Are you kidding me? So we tried to put a stop to Christian's gimmick, but he called the fans sickos and said, you know what? You guys are sickos. Go ahead, do it. And he said yeah, it was funny. I actually laughed out loud with this. So Cage took back the microphone and said that bitch is dead, meaning Cash's father. So it's good to see that Christian is still a scumbag, and that scumbag is now being accepted by Adam Copeland. I like it. That's the way it should have been.
That's the way it should be. They're going to put them back together. This is the most sensible way to do it.
Copeland said it was set in stone. All Out Toronto, September 20th. I think we all kind of knew that it was going in this direction. It will be CNC versus FTR, and he called them dead men and said on the 20th, he will get his pound of flesh. I thought this was a great segment. Now, I'm not really, I've had my reservations and my hang-ups with this story. I would have done maybe a thing here, there, different, a thing over there, different. But all in all, I'm liking it. It's all in the follow-up because this is where we're going to going into All Out. We're going to FTR. We knew that the reason they were getting back together was for the match with FTR. I don't know where they go from there. Now, I would think, Jesse, that they're going to remain a tag team because I think the division with them together is better as them together as a team instead of them being individually, one-on-one. But I feel like if they are going to get rid of FTR, that they're more than likely going to go after the tag team championships. That's the next natural progression here. I know a lot of people were like, why didn't FTR win the tag team championships? Listen, I don't know. The only thing I could possibly think of is, A, the creative control from the Hurt Syndicate and not wanting to lose to FTR, whatever the fucking reason may be there. Don't know why that's a big deal. And number two, if they did win the tag team championships, why do you want to put the titles on FTR only to take them off FTR and put them on Edge and or Copeland and Christian? I don't really understand that. That's just stupid and very lazy booking. Like, the match is big enough without the titles on the line. They will get their tag team title shot later in the year. And like I said on Sunday, I do think that the Young Bucks, and I like the way we both laid it out, the Young Bucks are being disrespected. The only way to get that respect back is to win the tag team titles. They're the ones that beat Brodito. They win the tag team titles and defend those titles against Edge and Christian at the end of the year. And Cope and Christian win the tag team titles from the Young Bucks. I think that is the natural way of life here in the tag team division.
Yeah, I mean, like, who's to say that the tag team titles has to go to Edge and Christian right away?
That not right away, but I have a feeling Tony Khan is already salivating over putting the tag team belts on Copeland and Christian,
which is fine. But then you put the titles on FTR, and then you have the chase. You know what I'm saying? See, AEW likes doing this heel chase bullshit, which I don't get. They did it with Kyle Fletcher. This guy's fucking chasing the TNT title to the point where I'm cheering for him, and he's one of the biggest heels in the company. He shouldn't be chasing like this. Every time he gets close and no cigar, close and no cigar. I'm starting to feel bad for him. Now they're gonna have FTR chase. The heel is not supposed to chase. The baby faces are supposed to chase. Let Edge and Christian fucking chase for 6 months.
Yeah, but that's the reason why they have this show in Toronto, bro. They wanted to get this match in Toronto. They wanted to get this big tag team match in Toronto. But the thing is, you look back at it, the whole reason for this pay-per-view in Toronto was to see them team up again for the first time in how many years? 10, 11 years? And they already gave you the tag team match at Forbidden Door in London. So what difference does it fucking make? You could have put the title. They could have theoretically did what you just said. Put the titles on FTR and have Edge and Christian chase FTR for the titles. This match doesn't necessarily need to take place in Toronto because it was all about them teaming together for the first time in over a decade. They already gave that to us. So now nothing is special here.
Right. And we're not trying to rush tag a title changes just because of location. If they still got a hard on for doing the match, do the match. And have the fucking baby faces lose in Toronto. Get more heat on FTR. I mean, what the fuck, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to happen just because Toronto. If you have a storyline, stick with it. You know what I'm saying? Fucking, I mean, just live up to it, you know, and get ownership behind it. Put some backing behind it and just ride it out, man. Commit to it. You know, but we got to hurry up and get to this part because we're in Toronto and we got to save for this big pop in Toronto when we get there, we'll get there. But we're not going to rush a fucking tag team title change or any storyline just because the city they were fucking in. We'll do a fucking nice match and we'll have a big fucking high in a different way, or we'll have them get screwed and get more heat on our heels, whatever. But the location where we are does not fucking matter. If we have a plan, let the plan fucking ride out no matter what fucking city we're in. Now, if we can adjust it a little bit here and there, you know, a week or two here and there for a city, sure, why not? But if you know you're going to be in Toronto in a few weeks and you're trying to rush up this for that no, that shit has to wait.
Yeah, that's what they did. They fucked up. I don't think they really thought this through. That's why I don't think that match should have taken place at Forbidden Door. Though that's one of the things I absolutely would have changed. I would have changed that, and I would have had the hug changed. Like, the hug should have happened in London. The match should not have happened in London. The hug should have happened in London after Christian got his ass handed to him by the matriarchy. Copeland comes out to save Christian, and he saves Christian from a big beatdown. The hug happens because he was the only one there to save him. Then the match happens with FTR in Toronto, and that's the first time they team in over a decade. They went about those two major aspects of this story completely wrong. And a lot of people may look at that as a deal breaker, and I don't blame you if you do. But Jesse is absolutely correct because normally it is the baby faces chasing the heel champions. And in that time, you could have easily waited. In this case, you could have waited. FTR should have won the tag team championships. We don't need to do this match in Toronto because you already gave us the tag team match. You could have had FTR go on a 3 or 4 month reign and then do the match at the end of the year. But we're not there now. Now FTR is going to be fed to Edge and Christian. FTR is going to sink down to the bottom of the fucking barrel like they usually do in the tag team division because they're nothing more than fucking puppets. And Edge and Christian are going to go after the tag team championships with Brodito or the Young Bucks being the champions. That's the way I see it being played out. Hurt Syndicate, I don't know where they factor into the tag team championships. Like Jesse said also, you think that they would want their tag team titles back. They haven't made a fucking peep about what they want, if they even give a shit. None of this really makes sense. There's a lot of things out of order here. But all in all, as far as the segment goes, this was probably the best thing on the entire night. Before the main event tonight, Darby Allin had a video package apologizing for those who wish he died on Mount Everest. But he's still here, ready to take everything from Jon Moxley. He wasn't just about the AEW World title. He's going to take Moxley's career, destroy the Death Riders, and talked about seeing the bodies as he climbed the mountain. All the moments Death Riders have taken from people in AEW, and said for Moxley not to step foot in the ring with him unless he's willing to die. At All Out, he's taking everything from Jon Moxley. And as this whole video was shown, Allin had ripped off the bandage of his mutilated ear, in which Jon Moxley ripped at it with a fork at Forbidden Door. And he was painting the wall in front of him in this vignette with his blood. and then it went up in flames before it read All Out. Again, I think we kind of knew where this was going. They didn't do it at Forbidden Door, and they opted for that 10-man steel cage match, and we all kind of insinuated that it was probably going to be safe for All Out. So as of right now, it's Copeland and Christian versus FTR and Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley as the first two matches made official for All Out in Toronto on September 20th. So far, so good. Hopefully they can back it up with some story. Speaking of Jon Moxley, he went one-on-one with Danny Garcia. This was their first match in 3 years. Nobody gave a shit about it then, and nobody gives a shit about it now. The only reason why this match is happening is because I believe Danny Garcia is also from the greater Philadelphia area. None of this really mattered. And all I see...
From New York.
Oh, is he? Well,
yeah.
Close enough. Jon Moxley and Danny Garcia, Jesse. I just have a feeling, man. Jon Moxley lost that AEW World Championship from Adam Page at All In. He lost that title to Page. And he's just been on a streak of wins over lower card guys. He's beat Kevin Knight. He's beat Speedball. He's wrestling Danny Garcia here. It's almost as if he needs people to beat so that he can feel good about himself because he lost the big one. Now, I don't know how you feel about Jon Moxley wrestling without the World Championship. He still bores me to fucking tears, and I don't really give a shit about anything that's going on with him because the Death Rider stink is still very much all over this show. But a match with Danny Garcia that ultimately went nowhere. What'd you think of this?
I feel like Moxley not giving a shit about losing the world title is just as bad as the Hurt Syndicate. He came out and gave, quite honestly, some of the best promos of his AEW career while world champion, giving us full detailed explanation why he had to be the world champion, why he had to keep it in this briefcase, why he was doing this for the greater good of the company, why all of this bullshit he rambled off. He did it for week upon week for months. He lost it, and then the very next night, the first thing he does, I think he's like in a one-on-one match with like somebody from Jet Speed or something like that, and he never spoke of the world title again. He doesn't give a shit anymore. He told us how Hangman is not the guy and that the company would not be in better hands if he was champion. Well, now he's champion, and now Moxley just doesn't give a shit anymore. He just doesn't care. I mean, how important is the title to these people if when they lose it, they're already on to the next feud with no explanation of transition? Now, I get we're not trying to say when you lose it, we want a bunch of rematches. But at least when you come out of losing your title, your focus should still be getting that title back. And then in the process of trying to get the title back, something else more pressing happens and diverts your attention away. And that's why you have to go do that, because otherwise you would be focused on the title that you lost, as opposed to just showing up for the next show like, all right, Speedball, let's get you in the first match of the night here on Night. Bro, you just lost your world fucking title. You don't care at all.
Yeah, I somewhat agree with that, because if he made such a big deal about the World Championship in 9 months and, he went on a crusade saying he was the World Championship and you don't need to see it. Everything that he is, he embodies what the World Championship is. And he held it away in a briefcase for 9 months. We don't want to see him going after the World Championship, but we all know at some point in the future he is going to get back there. At least give us a reason as to why you feel the way you do without the World Championship and you want it back. Mention it in a promo. Make sure it is always a highlight of what you're talking about. The fact that you lost it and that you're not going to mention how you're upset that you don't have it and the company is heading in the wrong direction and this and that, it goes to show you exactly that Jesse is correct and that the writing on this show is fucking abysmal. And as a character, Jon Moxley is not anything even remotely close to what he said in the first 9 months. If he doesn't want the World Championship or is not making mention of the World Championship, then he himself as a character is not that very important. So I do agree. Yeah.
I mean, the reason that it's so important that these guys who lose their titles are supposed to make an effort to get them back, at least some kind of messed up effort to get them back, is to show that they care about the titles, because the titles mean that much to them. When you lose them and just move the fuck on, you didn't care about them because the titles don't mean shit. The titles don't mean shit to you. Why should they care? Why should we care as a fan? As far as we're concerned, the titles are just as important as a $400,000 wrestling match then. I mean, because as soon as the match is over, no one speaks of it anymore until it comes up later on, until the next $400,000 match. Same thing for these titles. You're supposed to actually give a shit. Hook left the company hurt and got replaced and didn't give a shit that he lost his trios title.
Bro, we'll get there. I know you got a lot to say about that. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. I was thinking the same thing.
He didn't care. He got replaced by Hobbs, pretended to care one given night, and then left again for a few more weeks, came back with shitty theme music, and don't care that he got kicked out of his faction and lost his trios title.
They don't give a fuck. The writing on this show is the worst I've ever seen in any wrestling promotion ever. This is rivaling WWE 2019. It may be worse, honestly. It may be worse than what we got then with the Vince McMahon shit. This Jon Moxley, Danny Garcia match did not fucking matter at all. Now, I don't know if this will lead into something, because the only thing that I could really surmise from this is that Danny Garcia may be joining the Death Riders, because this whole match didn't mean shit, and the ending was just very fucking weird. Just very weird. So we'll pick it up at the end here. Daddy Magic came to ringside to support Danny Garcia, who, by the way, was in Nigel McGuinness's corner as he wrestled Zack Sabre Jr. for the IWGP Championship. Don't know why he was even in his corner and what that was all about. Clearly, it meant nothing because they didn't make a single mention of it, and he was over here wrestling Jon Moxley. So we'll pick it up at the end here. Moxley, he is in a half crab by Danny Garcia. He makes it to the ropes, and we get a throat chop, a DDT on the ring steps by Moxley to Garcia. This was on the outside. Garcia barely made it back at the count of 10. He made it in at a 9. He sidestepped a curb stomp upon entering. Garcia applied a Dragon Tamer. Moxley got out with a Bulldog choke attempt. Garcia rolled through and hit a pile driver. Moxley kicked out. They're trading cradles back and forth. Moxley was able to get a flash pin over Danny Garcia and survive Danny Garcia in Philadelphia. Post-match, Moxley handed the microphone to Wheeler Yuta, who said, Darby Allin, he's laying down the challenge for All Out. The answer is no. Now, while all that was happening, Moxley was approaching Garcia on the outside, and he tried whispering something in his ear. Garcia did not want to hear anything Moxley had to say. So Moxley and Marina left. Yuta stared down Garcia, who threw a chair at the ring post in anger and repeatedly started shoving the camera in his face, and he walked to the back very angry. Now, Jesse, I don't know what you thought of this segment, because Moxley's interaction with Danny Garcia after the match that they had, the nothing match that they had, was very bizarre. Do you get a sense that Danny Garcia may end up being looked at as a potential new member for the Death Riders?
That's the only conclusion I can draw when Moxley is seen making nice with the guy after the match they just had. Now, they're actively currently courting Chris Statlander, which I don't have a problem with in theory, except for the fact of the last fucking heel turn. I'm going to keep mentioning that because they never actually explained it. But now they're going to start courting Daniel Garcia, I'm assuming, because of what we saw tonight. They're going to have a situation where they get too many people in one fucking faction.
Now, let me add, I don't want to cut you off here, but I do have a question. Does Danny Garcia and the Death Riders, have they had any interaction before this? Was anything done on Collision that we should know of?
I don't remember. I mean, I'm not gonna say no, but they had so many fucking moving parts and shit like this so many times. I mean, I don't fucking, maybe they did at some point in the past, but I don't remember anything specifically. No. Only thing I remember specifically is them courting Chris Statlander for a few weeks now.
I don't even really see what the point is. If that is the direction that they're going for, if Danny Garcia is going to be in the Death Riders, is it going to enhance Danny Garcia and take him to another level that he's not at right now? I just feel like he's just going to be a background player like Wheeler Yuta. So what's the point?
It can't. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter who they add at this point, because now you're just saturating the faction. The same problem with the Don Callis family. There's just too many fucking people in it for us to actually give a shit about it. You're going to add Garcia, then you got Yuta in there, who is already, a jobber. Claudio should be booked better than what he is being booked, because he's in a faction where he's playing second fiddle to John Moxley. Imagine if Claudio was out on his own. I feel like he'd get a lot more juice if he wasn't saddled behind someone else in the faction. So adding someone else is not going to make them any better. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you have to find something else to do with them rather than just shove them all in 3 or 4 factions total.
Danny Garcia is one of the more heatless individual pro wrestlers that I've ever watched on national television. The guy's got absolutely zero character and zero charisma. Putting him in the Death Riders to the Sickos may be a good addition to the group, but like Jesse said, we already have an overabundance of factions and numbers of individuals in those 2 factions. The Don Callis family's half the fucking roster right now. Not really, but you get my point. And the Death Riders is getting to a point where you have that same feeling, and they are without Pac, who apparently was standing upright at a soccer game that I saw with Sami Zayn while they were in the United Kingdom. When is he coming back? We're not replacing Pac.
They were just in the UK. Why was he not on the show?
I don't know. You would think that he would be back. Hopefully he's back soon, but he is another member of the group. None of this makes any sense. And none of it is really exciting.
When he comes back, he's going to forget everything that he did when he comes back. So.
Of course he is. Well, we got 750 likes. You know what that means.
Oh, okay. All right. Shit. I wasn't watching the goddamn like count. Let's talk about the weather for a minute. How's the weather in New York?
It was a cool, crisp 75 degrees today.
Who gives a shit? Collision Corner.
Oh my God. Look at this fucking guy.
All right.
Look at him.
Here we go. Oh man, I gotta go, my man. Here we go. This week's edition of Collision Corner. We have an 8-man tag match.
Gee, wow. I'm shocked.
Man, we get the Don Callis family, Josh Alexander, Rocky Romero, Hechicero, and Lance Archer, or as I like to call them, the guys who don't need to be in the Don Callis family, versus Top Flight and Scorpio Sky, aka Skyflight. You know what? Between fucking Skyflight, Triangle of Madness, and Jet Speed, how could anyone question AEW's creativity? Look at these names. Triangle of Madness. We got Top Flight, Scorpio Sky, Skyflight. We got Kenny the Jet, and we got Speedball, Jet Speed. Creativity, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up.
Sounds like they're using ChatGPT to come up with the names of these groups, bro.
Let's give it up. Let's give it up, man. Let's give it up for them. Love it. Along with Hiromu Takahashi. How could I confuse these guys? Oh, my bad.
One can walk in the other can't, bro. You can't mess it up.
This is true. Outside of that, they look identical. All right, so he's gonna tag up with Jet Speed or whatever the fuck, and we got Takahashi gets the win by hitting the FU to Rocky Romero. You can tell that not even Don Callis gives a shit about this, because he wasn't even at ringside when he had fucking 4 of his goddamn men out there, because he came out after the match with Kyle Fletcher.
Wow.
He had 4 guys in this match, and he's backstage hanging out with Kyle Fletcher. I don't know if he's rubbing his ball. I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
Well, all that oil that Kyle Fletcher wears, bro, he needs someone to apply it. It might be Don Callis.
He came out at the start of the match to give this ridiculously obnoxious introduction for Hechicero, kind of the same one that he gave tonight. And they lost. And he didn't even stay out there to help or to give a shit. He was back there hanging out with Kyle. We get Isla Dawn. Isla Dawn made her AEW debut, and it's good to see her getting her showcase match win to start off her AEW run. The local enhancement talent that they got to put over Isla Dawn as a credible addition to their women's roster is Megan Bayne.
Wow.
Isla Dawn in 5 minutes.
Wow. So she basically got the Josh Alexander and Ace Austin treatment, huh?
Hey, man. You know how it goes. Welcome to the company. You're eating an L.
You're from the Fed. Loss. What happened?
Isla Dawn has been here for like 1 week, and she already has just as many losses as Mercedes Moné.
She's on that Anthony Bowens diet, huh?
Man. Bruh. Well, she's on some kind of diet too, because she did. Look, anyway, all right. Willow and Queen Aminata versus Sky Blue and Julia Hart, aka Two Faction Julia, as I like to call her. The Queen. She gets the Rhea Ripley super sexy pin over Sky Blue. In this one, it's a women's match, so of course all of the women come out afterward.
Wait a minute. Who got the Rhea Ripley pin? Julia Hart?
No. The Queen Aminata.
She pinned someone like Rhea Ripley does.
Oh yeah, the super sexy every guy wants to be in this position over my opponent pin. Yes.
So she's now stealing Rhea Ripley pins and stealing moves from Stephanie Vaquer. Does she do anything on her own?
Max Casper.
She loses her passport though. Apparently.
She did what?
She lost her passport. She got her passport stolen.
How do we know this stuff?
It's on social media.
Why is it on social media?
I don't know.
Max Caster challenge was answered by Zack Sabre Jr. And of course, Zack Sabre Jr. won. Afterwards, Zack got into Nigel's face. Billy Gunn came out and got in Anthony Bowen's face. For coming out and hitting Max Caster in the face. So now it looks like Max is going to be turning babyface.
Let me ask you something, bro. Did Zack Sabre Jr. manage to make this 90-second match? How long did it go, by the way?
Ooh, I honestly don't know. I think it went about 2 minutes, though.
Was it boring?
Come on.
Zack Sabre, man, could put you to sleep in 90 seconds, man. It's crazy.
It's a Max Caster 5-minute challenge match. Was it boring? Come on, man.
I'm going to say yes.
Come on. Let's see. Stat is still being courted by the Death Riders, of course. Ishii versus Takeshita. Duh. We get Big Bill versus Mark Andrews.
Ishii, man. You just going to glaze over fucking Ishii?
I mean, I'm not going to.
Has he wrestled? Who hasn't he wrestled on Collision, bro?
The weird part is he's walking around with a title. And that tells me at some point he beat somebody. He beat somebody. He has a title.
Who hasn't he wrestled on Saturday, man? That's the better question.
I don't know. I don't know where he got this win from, but somebody actually lost to Ishii because he's carrying a title. So, Big Bill versus Mark Andrews. Andrews loses in literally 1 minute.
Wasn't Mark Andrews on NXT UK?
Yep.
Maybe.
And he's in the UK. Don't forget, this match is over in the UK too. Or this show. 1 minute loss.
Now the WWE guy buried, huh? That's how they do over there on Collision.
Man, oh my God. Gates of Agony. Hold on. Speaking of buried in the UK, Gates of Agony versus the Grizzled Young Veterans.
Oh man.
GYV with Ricochet on commentary as an added bonus.
Oh man, I'm sure that was fucking sleep-inducing, bro.
Gates of Agony win this one. Who cares? Main event. we get the Paragon versus Rod and Todd Jackson.
Who?
Right? And their names were literally Rod and Todd on the screen. That was their name. No entrance. They would get the jobber entrance, and the screen said Rod and Todd. It's fucking great. The Bucks win with the help of the Don Callis and Okada. All right. They proceed to beat down Paragon, but Swerve comes out for the save. And he came out so slow that Nana got his full dance in twice. Jeff Hardy got to the ring faster than fucking Swerve Strickland did for this run out save. Swerve came down and he got beat up to end the show. That's how they ended the show. Swerve came down for the save, got beat up, and the Callis family stands tall. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your UK edition of Collision Corner. And I watch Collision. I don't know why I do, but I guess it's so you don't have to.
Wow, that sounds fucking awful, man. I'm surprised that the UK got such a terrible looking show. Honestly.
They took all of their favorites and just beat the shit out of them.
I'm trying to think. Do I know a Rod? Hot Rod. Saved by the Bell. Wasn't Mr. Belding's brother Rod Belding? Hot Rod Belding?
Oh, God, you want to dig deep like that? Oh my God. I don't remember what his brother is. I know he was the cool brother.
Isn't but Chad, I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Didn't Mr. Belding have a brother named Hot Rod or Rod Belding, right?
I don't remember.
He was the cool substitute principal, and then everybody liked him more than Mr. Belding, and then there was some jealousy there between the two brothers.
Yeah, then he left the kids for a hot piece of ass or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't remember his fucking name. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man, that was my favorite shows.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. Hook. Back from the break after Yuta. Yuta's still got a fucking microphone. He said he had a lot left to say, and the show won't continue until he says so. Yuta trained and busted his ass in this building, and it got him F.U. Yuta chance. It used to bother him until he became a Death Rider, which means your chance means jack shit. Yuta brought up Ospreay being taken out on a stretcher at Forbidden Door, Chuck Taylor's career ending, and Bryan Danielson, whose career Yuta said he ended. The lights went out, and the Hook logo was shown in the rafters as the new music of Hook played. And we seen Hook walk on out. Yuta charges and misses as Hook sank in the red rum before hitting Yuta with a Superman punch. Yuta then ran away. Hook stood tall, and he is officially back on AEW television. Now, Jesse, the last time we saw Hook was at the Stampede match, the Anarchy in the Arena match. I'm thinking Canadian Stampede or fucking Stadium Stampede.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Anarchy in the Arena. He came down to help for like 10 seconds. He looked at Samoa Joe, walked away. We haven't seen him since. So now he's back, and instead of bringing him back in the main event where the Ops were, he's out here confronting Wheeler Yuta. Now, I don't know why, but it seemingly looks like that AEW started something, replaced him in the Ops, and do not give a shit to even go back and explain why he would be upset or even tell us the story about why Hook wants to be back in his spot as Trios champion. Now, I don't know how you feel about it, but this is very stereotypical AEW writing, and I think it's absolutely fucking complete garbage. But what did you think of this segment, where they debuted Hook again or brought Hook back, and what do you think of his new theme music?
The new theme music sucks ass. They brought him back and just started something new with him without explaining how he left, what he lost when he left, and how he feels about it, which I guess kind of par for the course, right? That's what they've been doing. That's why I'm kind of pissed about this Statlander situation. Julia Hart and Brody King used to be in a faction. That's why she's two-faction Julia, because technically she's still in the goddamn War Dogs or whatever. But now she's in a Triangle of Madness too. I mean, so they'll just end things and expect you to forget about them. Just it never happened. What about Hook? And I thought he was a trio.
Bro, this is what, and we're the bad guys. I want everybody to know that we are the bad guys for calling out exactly what we're watching. And another comment that I've been seeing lately is Jesse and JD don't watch the show. They don't know what they're talking about. Motherfucker, we watch this show every single Wednesday night. Every single Wednesday night. We watch it as eagle-eyed viewers. This is fucking pathetic. And if you don't have a problem with it, then you are the problem with why this show sucks. If you want to know why AEW sucks, you look at this and how awful their writing is, and that is all the reason that you need. This is the best, most clear example as to why AEW sucks. Hook was in the ops. Hook was going for the Trios Championships. He was replaced by Will Hobbs. They then won the Trios Championships. Hook came back at Anarchy in the Arena to help the baby faces, but gave Samoa Joe a nasty look, and we all wondered why. Does he have a problem with being replaced? Does he have a problem with Joe? What's the dialogue there? What's the feeling there? Hook and Samoa Joe, Jesse, had a prominent relationship on television, almost like teacher and student. It was the best teacher-student vibe that we've seen Hook with so far. He goes away, he gets a concussion, he's out, he comes back, and then they don't even bother to explain to us why he's not in the ops and why he's focusing on Yuta and not the ops. What does Hook have to do with Wheeler Yuta? What? The ops aren't going after the Death Riders. The ops don't give a shit about the Death Riders anymore. They're background players in the entire thing. Why is he in this situation and not focusing on his own group and why he's replaced? That's a bigger story to me than him going after the Death Riders.
I don't know. I would love the answers to that. I would love them.
Who put Hook out? Who gave Hook the concussion? Was it Claudio? I believe it was Claudio, right?
I don't know because it wasn't even a storyline injury.
It just happened. Yes.
It happened. So I don't know when it happened specifically. It just happened. You know, which, I mean, it's fine. Look, you got to go away to take care of concussion. Go away and take care of a fucking concussion, man. Don't worry about it. The show will be here when you get back. Unfortunately, when you get back, they are just going to erase everything you did before and hope everyone forgot about it. When the only thing I was looking forward to is Hook coming back and staking his claim into his crew and getting his title back. That's what I was looking for the most to see when Hook got back. And they just never touched on it. Just forgot all about it.
That's more important than what's going on here with the Death Riders. You could always go back to that Death Rider shit and get him into a situation where he figures out what's going on with his boys and then go after the guys who put him out. Meanwhile, you just came off and the presentation tonight was, yeah, we're just going to gloss over that. That don't matter. We're going to go right from Hook to getting his revenge on the Death Riders. Meanwhile, the last time we saw him, there was a very tense stare down between him and Samoa Joe. Do you care to fill me in on that?
Nah. Why?
Hook is back in AEW. Hook has signed a long-term agreement with AEW. He is still relatively young. I don't blame the kid for taking the money. I wouldn't be surprised if Taz even guided him and gave him the guidance and the knowledge of, son, take the money. This is a lot of money. They want to keep you here. Let's take the money and just ride out what we got to do and then go on to greener pastures. There is absolutely no fucking way that Taz or anybody in that company, fans who watch the show, believe that Hook staying in AEW is going to be better off for his career. There's no growth. They're back to doing nothing. They can't even fill in the logic gaps of why he was out and why he came back. Everything seemingly has gone a just complete bust. Like, he's just taking the money and he's running, bro. That's the vibe that I get. And that's exactly how everybody feels about this fucking place. They don't care to tell story as long as they're getting paid handsomely to do so. I don't have any faith in this company pushing Hook as the top guy. Do you?
No.
I don't have faith. What else would you like me to say?
I don't have faith in them pushing their top guys as top guys.
It's fucking sad, bro. Hook would have been better off leaving and taking a pay cut and having a fruitful career that had a better chance of thriving. Here, he is just going to take the money, and he's not... Whatever you saw with him in the Jericho Appreciation Society, or whatever, the Learning Tree, Jericho... I'm thinking Jake Hager with what he said this week. Whatever he was doing with Jericho and the Learning Tree stuff, That's exactly where he's going to top out. And it's fucking sad. They're not going to push him.
I don't know. If I mean, I would love to just agree, but I don't know. To be honest, I think Hook would be better off staying with his father. And maybe that's the plan. Maybe they're going to leave together.
Maybe.
When Taz can go. Because is Taz a Hall of Famer in WWE yet?
I don't think so.
Because if it's not, then he is definitely getting one. So I could see Taz ending up back there when his deal is done, getting his Hall of Fame induction and taking his son with him. Maybe that's the plan. I think Hook is better staying off with his father. His father can help look over him.
Yeah.
He goes to WWE and his father's still in AEW, and you get vindictive ass a fucking WWE over there. Who knows how they're gonna fucking treat him?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Stay with your father.
Moving on, we got MJF. Cameras caught up to MJF after his Forbidden Door match with Adam Page, tossing down his casino gauntlet contract. You know, the one that's basically null and void at this point because he can't use it the way that it was intended. Fans chanted, "You deserve it," while MJF is bleeding buckets. And at his AEW title won, Mark Briscoe cost him everything. Fans then chanted, "You deserve it." While they're right, he deserves so much more than this company, and said if he sees Briscoe again, he'll finish the job from last week. MJF brought up Tony Khan saying the cash-in rules have changed. It now must be 1 week notice, and said when he signs the contract, it won't just be for the AEW title. It will be for Hangman Page's soul. I guess he's channeling his inner Dwayne Johnson now, huh? Once MJF is done with Briscoe, Page will be next. We're going back to MJF and Briscoe again, bro.
Oh man, they're really lacking on the main event scene. They were just so heavy. Now they lost Will Ospreay, they lost Swerve, and they're trying to bump Mark Briscoe into the main event scene. But here's the problem: nobody's gonna believe he's a credible main eventer until he actually wins the world title, and that's just not gonna fucking happen. It's just not gonna happen.
Well, I mean, he doesn't really present himself like a main eventer, bro.
Well, whether we think so or not, I agree with you. But even if we thought that he did, they are not going to put the title on him. I mean, could it remotely happen? Sure. I think it'll be as much of a shocker as when we saw Mick Foley win the world title for the first time.
How about he wins a fucking match first?
Yeah. I mean, we just don't believe he's going to be world champion. So whenever you try to have him having matches with guys that are actually main eventers, we don't believe you. We don't believe it's a match that he can win. We don't believe you're gonna put the title on him. I mean, I'm with you. I don't think he's actually a main eventer right now. But whether we believe that or not, we know they're not gonna pull that trigger.
It's all about presentation, folks. You know, I said a few weeks back that Mark Briscoe is AEW's version of Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, you look at Kevin Owens, do you look at a world champion when he walks down the aisle? No, he probably looks like Mark Briscoe does in AEW. But the thing is, creative books Kevin Owens to be like a world champion. AEW doesn't book Mark Briscoe to be anything close to what Kevin Owens is in WWE. So he's not a world champion based on strictly how they book him creatively. If they started doing that right, maybe we would have a different fucking tune. But I don't think they're even going to do that. And what happens when he wrestles MJF? That gives MJF a out here, Jesse, because he's got the guaranteed championship match, which means he could lose. So if they do wrestle again, I feel like MJF is probably going to lose to Briscoe because MJF got the win over Briscoe last time. And all because he's got that guaranteed world championship match. It doesn't matter if he loses or not. He's got that championship match in his back pocket, so he could realistically go into this Briscoe match with a loss, and it's not even going to hurt him.
I think Kevin Owens presents himself as a world champion.
Well, some people don't think that way. I agree with you. I think he does, but some people don't think that way, and they body shame, and they say this or that about him. He still wrestles like an indie. I mean, I think Kevin Owens is a world champion.
Body shame what? Yokozuna was fucking champion.
I agree with you.
Body shame what? I mean, some people are just stupid. When Kevin Owens speaks and when he works in the ring, he presents himself as world championship.
Kevin Owens is one of the better storytellers in the business. By that alone, he's a world champion.
Yeah. So I mean, when I see, I wouldn't compare. I don't see the parallel between Mark Briscoe and Kevin Owens personally. I just see Kevin Owens as a top guy. I see him as a world champion through his charisma, his mic work, and his in-ring work. You can't tell me look is what you look for in a world champion. Those are the idiots that will enjoy Jinder Mahal being world champion. Your looks is like the last thing to worry about.
Well, let's be real. Jinder Mahal was 6'7" and he was 260 pounds cut, bro. He looked like a world champion. He didn't wrestle like one.
That's what I mean. He looked like he has a look, but that's not enough. Having a look is not enough. You need so much more to be a world champion. You know what I'm saying? Yokozuna was a credible world champion compared to Jinder Mahal, but Jinder Mahal looks great, right? Toa Leona looks great. So world champion? No. The look does not. The look is the least important component to having a fantastic world champion. It can play a factor, but the last thing I'm concerned about is the look. You gotta sell me and make me believe that you're a fucking world champion.
Oh, here we go in the chat. Jinder was great. No, he wasn't, chat. He was fucking awful in every sense of the word.
Nope. He was god awful, but he had the look.
He had a great look. Fantastic look.
He had a great look. That's all he had. So many guys can come up and get juiced up and do all this fucking cosmetic work and look great. That don't make you a world champion.
So I don't know what's going to happen here. You know, I just find it to be, you know, we actually went back and forth on this, me and Jason last night. He's glad that the title contract change was changed by Tony Khan at the Scrum. He hated it. And he says we've been seeing it for the last 20 years. I disagree. I just look at MJF now, Jesse, and how fucking ridiculous with his character work, how ridiculous it's going to be for him to announce 1 week notice that he's cashing in his contract and he wants his world championship match whenever, and he's got to do it in a very fruitful and wholesome way. It's like you ruined the whole fucking concept of the entire gimmick. MJF's character does not cash in, you know, like John Cena did, or Rob Van Dam did against John Cena at the One Night Stand in 2006, calling a shot. MJF's going to fucking take the low road every single time and fucking bullshit his way to getting a victory. Now you're going to have him go out there and cash in. Here you go, boss. Here's my contract. This is when I want my match. How fucking stupid does that look?
Yes, it is much harder creatively to book an awesome cash in. It's easy to just say we have a weekend announcement and everything. Like, you know, the fact that we just got an MJF match for the world title without using his contract is the perfect reason as to why MJF did not need to ever even fucking hold that contract.
Not at all.
You can get him into a world title match easily without any real effort and explanation. But now you have this fucking contract and you're finding out now that you don't know what to fucking do with it, because at first he was going to cash it in, then he wasn't. Now you're changing the rules on when the cash in can happen. You look like you are flying by the seat of your pants. You have no idea what the hell you're doing right now. The contract is better served on someone who is not a main eventer. He's a mid-carder, but you are tagging this guy as to be the next guy to look at in the company. So when he winds up in a world title match or a world title situation, he already earned it a while back. And now you're telling your audience, hey, someone's graduating. Someone's getting that bump right now. When that music hits and he comes running down, we're about to see possibly a new main eventer happen right before our eyes. Here comes Darby Allin running down with that fucking contract to cash in on a disabled heel. You know what I'm saying? I mean, anyone. It could be, honestly, it could be Ricochet. Here comes Ricochet coming down like a conniving heel to cash in his fucking contract and now become a world champion. That is why every fucking cash in ever seen, you get major pops, because the crowd loves seeing a fucking title change and a cash in. They love it. How are you going to get a massive pop with a 1 week announcement before the fucking match? How do you do that?
Well, that's exactly why they got rid of it, because they don't have a fucking creative brain cell in their brain, in their head. You know, it's so easy to say, hey, man, I'm going to have this guy cash in on so-and-so date. That's when the match is going to happen. It gives us time to promote so-and-so match and call it a day. Meanwhile, the other way, like you said, is exactly what you said. They have to actually put some thought into who is going to have the contract. When are they going to cash in? How are they going to cash in? Against whom they're going to cash it in on? It's like, you know, it's something in which it gives the creative team some liberty to have some fun. And like Jesse said when we talked about this on Sunday, you put it on the wrong fucking people. You put it on Christian Cage. He's 50 years old. He doesn't need to be holding a fucking contract for a world championship match. MJF, he's already a main event guy. And then Athena, she's already a main event female. This concept is for the young up-and-coming talent that you deem the next in line for the throne. And they couldn't even come up with a solid name to be that type of person, Jesse. And now I look at the main event scene in AEW. You mentioned Swerve and Ospreay going down at the same time, man. You know, it's a bad blow to AEW, but it's also going to be looked at in a positive light because it gives them the opportunity to raise one of the younger guys up to that type of level and maybe give someone like that the ball and have them run with it. But you look at who's there now. They're already talking about Mark Briscoe in the main event. Adam Page is the world champion. MJF. John Moxley's going to be hanging around. Who else is there? Like, you're treating MJF, man. The way MJF creatively has been presented on television the last 3 weeks, man, has been fucking abysmal. And you need to look at him as the guy again to hold the company on his back because that's where it needs to go. And that's exactly where I feel like it's going. And if you're presenting him in such a terrible light so far, how credible of a world champion is he going to be when he actually gets that championship again?
Yeah. Mark Briscoe would have been a better choice to hold that contract than MJF.
Yeah.
Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
Would have been great to cash in a title on something like that. You know, it's hard creatively to book a Money in the Bank or a contract like this. And that's why, of course, that's why they're making it 1 week in advance here. But that's also why, if you remember when Vince McMahon was running everything, he would have the Money in the Bank winner cash in the same goddamn night, so he wouldn't have to worry about how to book it going forward.
Yeah.
That was the laziness behind it. Oh, we're just going to cash in tonight, so we don't have to worry about this person's always holding it. We just get it out of the way. That's a sign of just creative laziness, bro.
This is, I don't know how this is going to end up, but I genuinely feel like this is a bad change. It's a bad move, and MJF is going to look like a fucking geek when he cashes in. Hey, boss, I'm cashing in my contract on so-and-so date. That's not what MJF does. You just completely have taken a huge chunk of his character away, and you're humanizing that as just like everybody else. Give me a break. Harley Cameron, Chris Statlander, Megan Bayne, Penelope Ford tag team match here. You know, these ladies are in something. These ladies are getting television time mostly on Saturday. It's nice to see them on Wednesday, but I don't even know what the fucking ordeal is here. Like, I don't know what the bane of their problem is. Do you know why all of these women seemingly just don't like each other, Jesse? What is the actual story? Is there any like core nucleus of a story here? What's the problem?
Fuck if I know. They're told that they are heels, and they are told that they are baby faces, and that means that they can be teammates. That's why we get Penelope Ford and Megan Bayne just out there just hanging out with the Triangle of Madness every week. Why? Because they're all heels, so they're all friends. And the baby faces all hang out and they all come out and save each other because they're all baby faces. Kind of why Jet Speed always come. Bro, whenever there's a baby face in the ring getting beat down, Jet Speed is going to come out for the save. I don't care if they're involved with them or not. Every Jet Speed to the rescue every goddamn week. Why? Because they're baby faces.
They did the same thing tonight.
Every time, take a shot. Every time Jet Speed comes out for the save.
I don't know where this is leading. Do you want to know, chat, why I don't give a fuck about any of these women in the way that AEW thinks a lot of their fan base do? Because there's no fucking reason to care. There's no story. What is the... First of all, we haven't even gotten an explanation as to why Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford have been a tag team for 6 fucking months. So how am I supposed to care right off the bat with that aspect alone? Secondly, Harley Cameron has been off of television for how long? She's done nothing since the match with Mercedes, yet you want me to buy into Harley Cameron because she's pretty and she has a great catchphrase and now she's wearing a fucking mask on her face. I don't care. Chris Statlander, you've turned her more than the fucking Big Show. I don't fucking care. There is no legitimate reason for why these women are feuding. I just don't know. If you gave me a fucking story behind why all this is happening, I might show a little bit more care and a little bit more emotion. But you want me to care about this for what reason exactly? Because you're about to unleash women's tag team championships to make your fucking titles even more meaningless? Like, you talk about integrity and wanting your championships to have integrity. Bro, the more titles you add, the less the integrity is for the other championships that you currently house in AEW. So what is this exactly? This is all leading to what? What is the purpose of this feud? Why are they fighting? This is eventually going to land in a blood and guts match, and everybody's going to lose their fucking minds because it's the first time the women are going to be in blood and guts. Who cares? More carnage for the sake of carnage. I don't care. Really. We got this match towards the end. Baby faces win here. Statlander, Harley Cameron get the victory. Bayne and Statlander are in the ring. They're slugging it out with forearms and kicks. Penelope Ford makes a blind tag on the floor. Harley Cameron takes out Megan Bayne with a tilt-a-whirl DDT. By the way, Megan Bayne got 0 reaction when she came out. 0. Now, I don't know what the product of that is. Her theme music is fucking awful. Part of the reason I think she gets no reaction because her theme music sucks. It's so... It's almost a crowd killer.
Bro, she gets no reaction because name one interesting thing that Megan Bayne has done over the last few months.
Bro, she hasn't said a fucking word.
Just one. I just need one thing. One thing of significance that she has done to make the crowd pop when she comes out.
Nothing.
She faces jobbers every other week. She says nothing. She just puts her arms in the air and she gets the win, and then she leaves, and then she'll come out really slow. It'll be a ring full of people brawling it out. And then here comes Megan Bayne walking out slow, does her move, and then puts her arms up. She doesn't do anything of interest at all.
Chat, do you want to know why Megan Bayne is in a terrible situation and AEW has fucking completely failed on Megan Bayne, which is a slam dunk. Just look at her. Slam dunk. They've had this woman act as a fucking mute since the day she's arrived. Nobody knows what she sounds like. Nobody knows how she sounds. We haven't seen a fucking lick of a character. We haven't seen a lick of emotion from this woman. Absolutely nothing has been said from those lips. And you want the fans to react to Megan Bayne. How are we supposed to react if we don't know what she is or who she is or what she sounds like? Like, we act on emotion. We're looking for some sort of emotion. If she gives nothing to the crowd's going to give nothing to her. So I don't understand why this is such a fucking foreign concept for the company. Give this woman a microphone and let me hear what she has to say and why she's here, why she's teaming with Penelope, and why she has a problem with these fucking people. 6 months of this shit. But she's making good money.
Not doing anything of interest, man. I mean, something evil needs to fucking happen. They could have put that contract instead of putting it on Athena. They could have put that contract on Penelope Ford, and then they could have had Ford come and try to do a cash in until Megan Bayne came out and took her cash in opportunity and became champion, and then they left Penelope Ford as her fucking backup, as her fucking assistant, as she took her cash in opportunity, and then just wait for the crowd to get behind Penelope Ford to turn on Megan Bayne and become a babyface that someone just might actually care about.
Bro, that would have worked if they gave us a fucking reason as to why they were paired up in the first place.
Yeah.
That actually would have worked.
Yeah.
I don't understand this. This is complete fucking. And then they pair her up with the Triangle of Madness, and we don't even know why that they're paired up together. Why are they working together? No words have been said between these 5 women. I don't know why the fuck they're even together.
I don't know.
Why is Tekla with fucking Julia Hart and Sky Blue? Did we get an explanation as to why they're together? Or is everything just happening because Tony puts these names in ChatGPT and those are the names that they spit out? I think, Mr. Tony, that these names would be a great faction. Let's call them the Triangle of Madness. I swear to God, man, I'm making a fucking series of ChatGPT booking these stories better than fucking Tony Khan. I swear to God. It's ridiculous.
Triangle of Madness, Jet Speed, Top Sky Flight, or whatever the fuck. Just creativity at its finest.
Harley Cameron takes out Megan Bayne with a tilt-a-whirl DDT. Statlander caught diving forward, crossbody into an electric chair. Statlander wrapped Ford up in a submission, and that was basically it. Post-match, Megan Bayne attacked Harley on the floor, and there was a fight with Statlander in the ring. Willow hit the ring as Ford pulled Bayne to safety while Cameron hugged Bolt Nightingale and Statlander, as Statlander and Willow apparently still have problems. Do we understand why they have problems, Jesse? You're more in on this than I am. Why are they not back together yet? Is there something going on there that we should all know happening on Collision?
Yeah, sure. No. Yeah. Oh, they explained it. They explained it all on Collision, bro. That's where all of the explanations happen. You know, it's called
you mean to tell me there's been no dialogue between Willow and Statlander, bro?
It's called Collision, where the explanations happen.
This is terrible. Terrible writing. But we're the bad guys. We're the bad guys every single week. Okay. Fantastic. It only gets worse, folks. It only gets worse. 9 belts Monet. Championship celebration. Now, she's out there. Imagine, bro, this is supposedly the greatest female women's professional wrestler in the entire world, bro. She's out there in front of 900 people dancing like a clown, bro. With 9 belts on the table. Renee introducing Mercedes as she's wearing the TBS title, the only one that really matters. Taz was singing along to her theme, but he said due to his bad hips, he can't do the Monet dance. I don't think anybody wants to see that. I don't even want to see Mercedes dance. Monet counted off her titles. Renee ran down her resume the past month. Mercedes calls herself the greatest of all time, a history maker, a record breaker, and then she brings up Ultimo Dragon holding 10 titles, which is a record she says she will smash. Any woman with a title, she's coming for you. Renee brings up Alex Windsor tapping Monet out last week on Dynamite, which Monet questioned if Renee is stupid or dumb. She said she wasn't tapping out. She was trying to squash a bug. I don't believe that dialogue was actually allowed on television. Fucking awful. Monet called her Alex Windsor and said she was a better Rev Pro champion than Windsor ever was, and said maybe Windsor is jealous that her man was doing her dance, which she said to William that she loved. If Windsor keeps it up, she'll put her in a hospital bed right next to her husband. Monet has had enough talking. All she wants to do is dance, which she did. And unfortunately, folks, that was basically the entire segment. Jesse, what the fuck was the point of all this?
Bro, you know that I text you asking you what the point of all this
I know,
was.
and I said they just wanted her to dance.
I have no idea. I would have had Alex Windsor come out and say, hey, I didn't know we were on this level, but since you want to talk about husbands on TV, we can do that. Would Mercedes be okay with that?
Would Mercedes be okay talking about who? Makaze or Frank the Attorney?
Husbands. The fact that she doesn't have one anymore.
Oh, Mercedes would never allow that, bro. I mean, that's not... whatever's written on Mercedes' end of creative control is what makes it on television, bro.
We're not going to get Kaiser sliding into anybody's DMs here?
No, not even a chance in hell, bro.
Oh, Okay, just wondering.
So what are we doing here? I mean, the Alex Windsor apparently is the flavor of the fucking month here. I mean, she's been all over this show. She's been mixing it up with Toni Storm and Mercedes, and now she's in this fatal four-way Forbidden Door, and now we're coming out of Forbidden Door, which apparently they're going back 1 week ago, where Alex Windsor supposedly had Mercedes tapping out, and the referee didn't see it. Are we going into All Out with Mercedes versus Alex Windsor for the TBS Championship? And if that's the case, what is the fucking point? Because there is no human alive that thinks Mercedes is losing this TBS Championship before she breaks Jade Cargill's record of 508 days. I don't understand what the point is. If you want Alex Windsor to be some upper echelon female in your division, why are we setting her up for failure against Mercedes in an absolutely losing effort? It doesn't make any sense to me. What are we doing?
They don't know what their end game is. And you can tell they're just kind of just booking on the fly to try to get to an end that they don't know the result of in said end. They're just literally booking from week to week.
I don't. I mean, this woman is out here dancing with 9 belts, and that's the only part of the segment. That was a segment on this show, dancing. Like, if you wanted her to dance, send her down to the fucking the nightclub if she wants to go dancing. The fuck do we need to see you dancing for? We're here to watch you tell stories. I don't see what the fucking point is. And who gives a shit about these 9 belts? Did you mention what the fuck they were? How am I supposed to care about these 9 belts if you don't tell me how important they are to you and what they are and where they're from? They're there right in front of everybody. You don't make a point to name all these championships. The only one that I recognize is the one around your waist. It's the only one that matters.
No, they could have literally just left Mercedes off the show, and it just would have been better. Even for her, the intrigue of her not being on the show would have been better than what we got today on TV.
Everybody thinks this is enhancing Mercedes' credibility. She's doing nothing to help anybody. Zero. Her character is complete cringe. This entire belt gimmick is complete cringe. What's the end game here? Jesse says there's no end game. The end game is her winning her 10th title, whatever the fuck that is. Who's the next victim?
That's not an end game, because then the next story will be her winning the 11th.
And she's eventually going to beat Toni Storm. When we get to it, I don't know. But that's what's going to happen. Because Toni is running out of opponents too. And what do you think is going to happen? It's going to be process of elimination. They're going to eliminate everybody else that's still hanging around until they eventually get back to each other. And Mercedes is going to get the win back over Toni Storm. We're looking at what, 11, 12 titles?
Where are they going to find any more titles for her to win? They got to make some.
Bro, Nyla Rose tweeted out she just won a championship from whichever promotion, man. Mercedes is already eyeing that title.
No, that's why they're making women's tag team titles. That gives Mercedes 2 more titles because she's just going to win them both.
And what happens when Mercedes wins the big one? What happens to the TBS title? We're just going to relinquish it? We're going to give it up?
Why? She didn't relinquish any of the other 9 titles she has. I mean, she's just going to keep them all.
Awful. This is fucking awful. How anybody watches this show and is fucking, this is great. Mental. Waste of my fucking time. Delaware, Sandy Fork, Mark Briscoe cut a promo. He was home. Said the 2300 arena is extremely important to the Briscoe brothers, but he couldn't be there for a good reason. He showed off his newborn son, baby Mac Briscoe. Next thing Briscoe has to say is not for the baby's ears, and he tells someone off screen, take him and go. Briscoe said, it's been 1 week since MJF tried to set him on fire. So he's taking all MJF's hopes and dreams and setting them on fire, which is what he did at Forbidden Door. Next time he sees MJF, he's lighting his ass up. MJF always said Briscoe can't win the big one, which got Briscoe thinking of the TNT champion for some reason, Kyle Fletcher, who says he's 2-2 with. And he challenges Kyle Fletcher for the TNT title in Philly and questions if Fletcher will man up. I'm glad Briscoe is challenging for a title, but a title that he ultimately will not win, Jesse. So this is what I don't understand. They want to make him into a serious guy, right? So they have him challenging for a championship, which is fine, But Kyle Fletcher just won the championship. So theoretically, before he gets to MJF, he's got to wrestle the TNT champion and ultimately lose and then go up to MJF and do what exactly? What is the point of all this? Why can't we just stick to one fucking thing and then have that thing finish and then move him on to something else? But you want to move him on to something else that has nothing to do with what he's dealing with MJF. And the thing that he's dealing with Kyle Fletcher is going to hurt more than it enhances Mark Briscoe. So what's the point?
That's B.
I don't know. I don't really know. Does he win the TNT championship? Do we give him a token run? Why does Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe still have a problem? Like, why are we revisiting that? They haven't even crossed paths. Why are we just dropping this MJF thing for a week or two to go do this? What do they have to do with each other? Have they had dialogue? Have they had a segment? A match? Have they been in the same fucking building? I don't know. None of it makes sense. Unified Champion Okada, Takeshita, Josh Alexander, Hechicero against Brodito, Bandito and Brody King, Jet Speed, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight. Another one of these fucking PWG party matches that everybody fucking jerks off to on social media. Nobody gave a fuck here. Nobody. What does this matter to anybody? The one thing I'm looking at here is fucking Wardlow. He didn't even get anything as far as explaining why he did what he did at Forbidden Door. It's the only thing of note that mattered here, and they completely bypassed it all. Absolutely fucking offensive to the viewer watching this shit. You have questions, and these are logical questions, and then when we ask these questions, we're the fucking bad guys. Wardlow comes out looking like $1 million, stays behind the rest of the Don Callis family, just like he stood behind the Paragon or the Undisputed Kingdom, whatever the fuck their names are, stood behind MJF for all those months, stood behind the Pinnacle. Is Wardlow just nothing more than a pretty guy in a fucking suit who stands behind everybody else and gets no spotlight on his own? Why'd you even bring him back? What was the reason for bringing him back if you have no plan for him, making everything that I uttered on Sunday night factual? The Don Callis family is nothing more than a landfill of fucking directionless and completely lost souls who the creative department don't have a fucking clue on how to book. I'd love for somebody to prove me wrong. Fucking pathetic. This guy went over there and he stood by commentary fixing his cufflinks and fixing his watch, and that's all he did. Picking up at the end here. The only thing of note in this match was Takeshita and Okada. They had some tension going on there. Clearly, you see where that's going. That's actually something I'm interested in, because that's going to be a tremendous match. So Takeshita, Okada's on the offensive here against Bailey in the corner. Charged at Bailey. Takeshita pulled him out of the way to drop Bailey. It led to a face-off between Takeshita and Okada because Okada figured that Takeshita was getting in his business. Brodito put a stop to it, mowed down Okada. Hechicero, low bridge, Brody King. Bandito flew over the top rope with Hechicero on the outside. That's the main event for Ring of Honor. Death Before Dishonor on Friday. No build. Don't know why they're even feuding, but that's Ring of Honor for you. Takeshita hit a somersault plancha onto a pile of bodies on the outside. Back inside, Bailey tried a flash pin on Alexander. Okada made the save, tried for a Rainmaker. Bailey ducked. Okada took a Knight springboard clothesline. Josh Alexander was planted by Bailey, who went up top for a shooting star. Alexander moved out of the way and got a flash pin inside cradle. And believe it or not, Josh Alexander got a pinfall victory for the Don Callis family. It's unbelievable.
Whoa, are you sure?
I'm positive, bro. I watched it happen with my own eyes. Yeah.
I don't believe you, man. I don't know. I missed that part.
So, before all this happened, which I failed to mention, Don Callis had this long-winded promo here, and he talked about introducing all these guys on his team. Adam Page, he power walked to the ring, and Page said before he gets started, He wants to thank Will Ospreay for everything he's done for himself and for AEW. Paige genuinely is sorry for everything that's happened to Ospreay since All In and says while he's gone, all of us will miss him. Recover up, heal up, and when the time is right, come back and do what he's best at and challenge Paige for the AEW World Championship. Paige said regarding the title, MJF has had a chance at it and failed, throwing everything he had at Paige and still failed. Everything MJF has done in the past, now he must give 7 days notice to cash in his contract, but whenever MJF chooses to sign it, he will beat his ass before the ink is dry. Don Callis interrupted, having something important to say to Adam Page. Why? I don't know. They have a long history as Page won his first AEW World title from Don Callis, as the only reason he took it from him was due to having a weakling. Page took it from him. Callis wants that title back in the Don Callis family, and Page doesn't get to decide who he faces, as there's a whole locker room back there wanting a shot, and he knows that because he has half of them under contract. So they're throwing it out there as a joke, but it's a reality. It's not a matter of if, but who will take the title from Page. Rocky Romero, Hechicero, Josh Alexander, Lance Archer, they all surround the ring. Page hits a slingshot dive on Alexander and gets the beat down on the Don Callis family before they do to him. And before the numbers game immediately become too much, Jet Speed tried to even the odds. Until Don Callis, there you go. Until Don Callis handed Romero a baton, and Bailey got blasted in the ribs with it. Kenny Omega's music hit. He comes out, he takes out Hechicero on the IOA with a V-trigger. Snapdragons to Rocky Romero and Josh Alexander as Lance Archer tried to get in there and chokeslam Adam Page. But Omega got the baton and got free. Jet Speed hits dueling dives on Romero. Alexander, while Page and Omega dusted off their old tag team playbook and took out Lance Archer with a buckshot V-trigger combo. At the end, they chased the Don Callis family away, and Omega hugged Page, and Jet Speed joined them as the baby faces stand tall. Again, I have no clear direction where we're going with Adam Page in the World Championship. I would assume that we get MJF challenging for the World Championship at All Out. And this is nothing more than a detour for Adam Page to get us to All Out. But man, oh man, there's nobody in the Don Callis family that is even remotely deserving of a World Championship match. You're just throwing that out there for absolutely no reason. How could anybody be excited about this?
Fuck if I know, bro. I don't know. I don't know. Don Callis himself would probably qualify for a world title match before anybody in his damn family.
More than likely, yes. Kenny Omega, listen, I don't know what Kenny Omega is doing with Page here or why he's out there. It's so fucking weird. You know, they had Omega lose the Unified Championship to Okada. He made no mention of it, no desire to get it back. They throw him into a steel cage match at Forbidden Door, and he had no television time to even build towards that match against the Death Riders. And now he's back on TV and going back after the Don Callis family. So where the fuck has he been? Why is he going back after the Don Callis family? Does he want his unified title back? Why is he helping Page? I mean, there's no dialogue. Bro, how am I supposed to get invested here if you don't give me the fucking words to fucking care about what I'm watching on TV? How am I supposed to care about any of it? Why is what I'm watching happening on TV happening? I don't know how they think that this makes any sense. I don't. Now we got an all-star 8-man tag team match already booked for next week. It's going to be Page, Jet Speed, and Omega versus the Don Callis family. So basically the same match that you got tonight with these 8 guys, you're going to get next week with Omega and Page teaming up. Clueless. Fucking clueless. Athena. She's wrestling Athena is Mina. She's wrestling Mina at the Ring of Honor pay-per-view on Friday. Tony Storm was standing with Mina after Forbidden Door saying Athena is beatable, defeatable, and eatable. And Mina is the love bum that will devour her before asking Mina how her hand is. Mina slapped Storm in the face, and Storm said, "My God, you're back." Athena told Renee that she'll toss Shirakawa off the 2300 arena, and she made a Blue Meanie reference here, I believe, and said what she does to Mina will make the Sandman piss his pants. Athena is not losing the championship to Mina Shirakawa.
No.
I can tell you that right now. So exactly what we said, Jesse. After Forbidden Door, back to the fucking app goes Athena. Main event here. Oh, this wasn't the main event. I don't know why this was even on the fucking show. The OPPS, Samoa Joe, Katsuyori Shibata, Powerhouse Hobbs against Ricochet in the Gates of Agony for the AEW Trios Championship. So Ricochet's out there challenging for the titles with his boys. Springboard dropkick here by Ricochet. He also missed the shooting star press, but Shibata broke the cover up here. Shibata sank in a rear naked choke on Toa Liona, rolled to the apron. Ricochet went up top. He was cracked in the back by MVP with his cane. He was in and out. Hobbs hit a spine buster. Shibata with a punt kick. Joe sank in a coquina clutch. And Ricochet is a fucking loser. Again. Post-match, the OPPS left with the titles. Gates of Agony held up Ricochet, but dropped him as the Hurt Syndicate's music hit. They brawled in the aisleway with Toa Liona and Bishop Khan, did Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. They brawled to the back, leaving Ricochet to recover in the ring alone. No mention as to why they did what they did on Sunday against the Hurt Syndicate at Forbidden Door. Why did they attack? Were they working with MJF? Why did he wait till 8 months to attack the Hurt Syndicate? What has he got a problem with them now? They haven't anything to do with each other in 8-9 months. Now all of a sudden he's got a problem with them. Why? I'd love to know. It would have made all this a little bit more digestible, and it would have made it make a little bit more sense. Now we have to go through another week, Jesse, of not having any real reason as to why he did what he did on Sunday. Claudio. He went one-on-one with Darby Allin. This was the main event. False count anywhere match. AEW really wanted to give you the ECW feels with this main event. Now, they did one big spot here, which was basically the downfall of Darby in this match. It was the Bam Bam Bigelow Spike Dudley spot from Born to be Wired, 1997, where Bam Bam Bigelow threw Spike Dudley like a fucking football. So Claudio did basically the same exact thing to Darby Allin, but over the announce desk, and he landed very, very hard. WWE also did this spot, I believe, with Obafemi and Javon Evans just recently on NXT television. So I don't know what it is with these table spots and everybody just wanting to one-up each other with these table spots, but it looked nasty. Claudio threw a bunch of chairs in the ring. He set the table up in the corner. Darby Allin trying to fight back, only to keep getting squashed by Claudio. Claudio had his legs kicked out. Darby Allin sank in a guillotine as any lifeline he could find. He found that. Claudio powered up. Allin transitioned into a rear naked choke. Claudio threw his way free, charged. Allin sidestepped, and Claudio crashed through a table. So Darby Allin is just bashing Claudio with the chair now. He placed the chair around his neck. He was going to go off top. He was cut off. Claudio stacked the chairs and delivered an avalanche gut wrench onto the pile of chairs for a 2 count. Claudio now angry that he couldn't put Allin away. He puts him through a table. Table didn't break. He power bombed him. And then again, it broke. Darby Allin kicked out. Claudio then exposed the corner turnbuckle, wanted a slingshot. Darby landed on his feet in the ropes, delivered a bounce back double stomp. Victory roll, got a near fall. Claudio charged. Allin with a drop toe hold into the exposed turnbuckle. Code red for a 2 count. Allin quickly came off top with a coffin drop, and that was enough for the win. Post-match, Gabe Kidd, who apparently is with AEW now, hit the ring, planted Allin with an overhead suplex as Jon Moxley and Marina joined. Gabe Kidd picked up Darby Allin, who shot a double leg on Moxley, got a few shots in. Gabe Kidd pulled him away. Darby Allin sent Kidd and Moxley colliding into one another, and he ran off through the crowd and out of the building. Gabe Kidd went after Darby Allin, but he couldn't get to him. Moxley ultimately left with Shafir. Gabe Kidd was furious that he couldn't get to Darby Allin, and that's the way the show went off the air. You know, this Darby and Jon Moxley thing, Jesse, I mean, it's been playing out, and it took a big, big hiatus because he wanted to climb Mount Everest. You know, it's going to be difficult for them to recapture and rekindle whatever they were building before he went to climb Mount Everest, man. You know, not that I was into it then. I am less into it now. I don't know how they're going to get people interested in it, man, the way that they expected. I just don't find any interest in this, bro. The only thing I'm looking forward to is how they fucking one-up each other because AEW is going head-to-head with WWE. It's going to be All Out versus WrestlePalooza. What are they going to have Darby Allin and Jon Moxley do to steal the headlines on September 20th? I don't give a fuck about the match. I don't care who comes out on top. It's going to be how are they going to one-up each other and kill each other on September 20th. I don't know how you feel about this, man, but there is zero interest from me.
I mean, no, but it's not going to be hard for them to recapture Darby Allin's, like, the magic that he had before he went out, because Darby is over his shit. So that won't be hard. The hard part is coming up with creative storytelling to get that hype back where he was. I mean, as far as a subject to get it done with, you got Darby Allin. That's half the story. The other half is writing a good story. And do we have faith that they're going to do that for Darby? No.
So who's Darby's friends here? Like all the friends that he had in that steel cage match, they're all doing everything else. Will Ospreay's hurt. Tanahashi's back in Japan. Kota Ibushi is not on TV. I don't know what the fuck he's been brought back for. And Kenny Omega is now helping Adam Page against the Don Callis family. Who is going to help Darby Allin against the Death Riders here? Is it going to be just one against 5 and 6, or is he going to have any backup?
That would make it even more likable for Darby Allin to do this completely on his own. You know, I mean, there's always Jet Speed. Don't forget about that. So they'll come out to help every goddamn week. But outside of that, watching Darby just suffer week in and week out with the numbers game and everything like this, and then eventually getting that championship win one day, that's all a part of it. How he did it all on his own and everything like that. And if anything else, Sting comes out to help him for that one final time when he does win that big title. But outside of that's the part of the lore for Darby. He doesn't care. I mean, would he love to have somebody else? Sure. But he doesn't care that he does it because he's crazy ass Darby fucking Allin. So it's doable, but they just have to tell the right fucking story. You don't want faction warfare where everybody needs 5 guys in their crew. I mean, that's the problem we have right now. Don Callis and then the Death Ride. I mean, everybody, there's 100 people to a crew. It's getting kind of dated, man. Faction warfare is something that we learned the hard way is not the way to go.
This show was fucking awful. Like, there is just so much wrong with the storytelling here. And once again, Tony Khan proves that he can't tell a story and follow up a major pay-per-view with anything substantial. It's just randomness, random matches, logic gaps, and stories that don't really make any sense from where we came from on Sunday. Nothing was followed up on. Nothing. I don't know how anybody looks at this as a good show. You're all excited about All Out because Darby and Mox is official. Copeland Christian versus FTR is official. That was legitimately the only thing worth any sort of story on this show. I don't know how anybody looks at this as a good deal for AEW tonight. 900 people in the ECW arena, coming out of 19,000 in the UK at Forbidden Door. It's an awful look. Aesthetically, it's an awful look. The optics to this company, to Tony Khan, don't matter as long as he fulfills his markdom because he does a show live on television from the ECW arena. And he's there for 3 weeks. This shit sucks. Everything about this, I question literally every aspect of this show. There's not one redeeming quality about the 2 hours that we watched tonight. Zero. Thank you guys for watching us and hanging out with us tonight. I wish it was a little bit more positive, but it's the way it's going to be until fucking things change there, which makes Jake Hager and his comments a little bit more substantial because everything that he said outside of that fucking FTR quote that he put out there has much validity to it. When people start opening their mouth about how things are running in AEW, man, it's going to make you question how you watch this show differently week by week. Follow us on social media at JDfromNY206, at Chi-Town Smark. Make sure you guys go hit that subscribe button down below to this channel and on Jesse's channel. I linked him down below in the description. Hit that thumbs up. We are 40 likes away from 1,000, so if you guys want to go do that, please hit that thumbs up. And super chats are open. We're going to get into them in just a second. It's the best way to support what we do here on Wednesday nights. Starting off with Michael Krause, $2 super chat. JD Jesse, OTS, hope all is well. Let's go. Yeah, thank you, Michael. Nate with a $5 super chat. Have you seen the drama about the stagehand workers at the 2300 Arena? They are protesting fair pay for working AEW shows in Philly. Can Camille come back? Wardlow is back. Camille's not coming back, bro. I doubt we see Camille ever again. I'm surprised we got Wardlow back. And you can see what they value or how they value Wardlow. Look at what he did tonight. Right back to the same old shit that he was doing before. They brought him back to do literally nothing. Michelle with a 2. MJF promo was fired. He needs to get out of AEW ASAP. It's got a couple more years. I don't know. DW Hurd with a 20. How many 8-man tag team matches does this company need? Also, this crowd makes the Full Sail crowd live audience look like a rave. Bro, the way the show was produced and the sound of the show was awful. Everything sounded like it was in a fucking wind tunnel. Echoing. Nothing sounded professional at all, man. It looked like a dive bar. It looked like a generic indie show live on television. Michelle with a 5. TK has a lot of work to do if he expects us to believe Darby can beat Mox. I guess Darby will beat Gabe Kidd next Wednesday. Omega versus Don Callis again. Hashtag shit show. Yeah. I don't know.
Darby will beat Mox the same way he beats everybody. He'll take every fucking blow that they can give to the point where they just have nothing left to do, and because Darby keeps getting up, and then he'll find a way to just win. That's how every Darby big win happens.
Solo just ended his stream. So Solo went a good 2 hours, then he started at 10:30. Scripps with a 5. Well, that was 2 hours of my life I'll never get back. I agree. It's a very difficult watch every Wednesday, Scripps. Sidney Johnson with a $4.99. How many more Mercedes Money celebrations are we going to get? Like, we fucking get it. You won. Bro, she absolutely has it written in her contract that she wrestles maybe twice a month, and one of them being in the main event on a Dynamite. One Dynamite and one pay-per-view. She's useless. The show is not better with her on it, which is sad. Captain Solo with a 2. Should start calling the show AEW Diarrhea. Lucas with the $4.99. I'm sorry to disappoint you, JD, but I don't drink cold beverages. I drink Gatorade and sodas instead. Well, do you drink Gatorade and sodas room temperature, Lucas? Cold beverage could mean anything, bro, as long as what you're drinking, whether it's Gatorade, sodas, alcohol, as long as it's cold. Nobody drinks anything lukewarm, bro. Best in the world, well, I hope not. Best in the world, Matt with a $5 super chat. 19,000 people to 900 people. According to Tony the Tiger Khan, that's great. Yep. It's fucking the aesthetics, man. The fucking optics of it are awful. Scripps with a 5. The only thing worth anything on this show was Wheeler Yuta trying to cut a promo that was so horrible, he got the hook. I wish we didn't get the hook. Hook should take care of his Samoa Joe and Ops problem. He was replaced. For Illuminati with a 2. Jesse. Yeah, you know what? Thank you, Illuminati. Rizzo with a 5. This is awkward. What the fuck? If Jesse doesn't want to do the show, that's fine, but at least show some passion. Well, he did the show. We did 2 hours and 13 minutes. What are you talking about? The show sucks. What type of passion do you want us to have? The show is awful. When the show is good, then maybe he'll show some passion. Young Show 15 with a 5. What's up, JD Jesse? I was listening to you guys from Sunday yesterday while getting a root canal. You guys helped me out. Thank you, bros. That's the first I've ever heard us helping somebody get through a dental procedure. I don't know if listening to anybody would help me get through a dental procedure, bro, but I'm glad you chose us. MGM balling with the 499. Do you guys watch Peacemaker? I'm mad they Def Rebelled their intro theme for the new season. I do not. What was their old theme? And what did they change their theme to? Sidney Johnson with a 199. Stokely got dropped. He did. Captain Solo with a $5 super chat. Was expecting Raven and the Sandman to come out with that ECW arena audio. No disrespect to ECW, but why are they wrestling in a glorified bingo hall? Because Tony Khan's a fucking mark. That's why. Bro, they can only sell out pay-per-views, and they can only sell out in maybe 3 or 4 major markets in the United States. Everywhere else, AEW is dead. That's why they run residencies. It gives them the feeling that, hey, look, we sold it out. 900 people. 900 people is what they're bragging about. Good for you guys. As long as you sleep good at night. El Masi with 25 months. Taylor Swift engaged, and pumpkin spice lattes on sale. Millennial white women are on cloud 9. Bro, if you made a big deal about Taylor Swift getting engaged, bro, you need to go seek mental help. I saw some people on social media take off of work and leave work early to celebrate this news. It's unbelievable. Justin with a $4.99. Huge shout out to the LTS mods tonight. Keep fighting the good fight. Fuck them. Fuck everybody that comes in here and says we're negative about AEW, man. Your show sucks. We're 2 of the most fair voices in this entire space when it comes to AEW. Black Wolf Inc. with a 10. What's good, y'all? JD System of a Down and Korn are performing at MetLife Stadium tomorrow. If you are going, I will make sure you pay nothing on food and drink, minus adult beverages, of course. Black Wolf, I will not be attending. I will be attending the U.S. Open tomorrow night. I'm going to watch some tennis. Best in the world, Matt, with a $2 super chat. Windsor. I wonder where Mercedes got that from. Well, Alex Windsor's been doing that. It's her thing, I guess. Sidney Johnson with a $4.99. How many more Mercedes celebrations are we going to get? Like, we are tired. I think everybody's tired of Mercedes, bro. She does not enhance the show in any way. Sidra with a 5. What's the difference between a female identifying person and chocolate bar? One's a she, her, and the other is a her, she's. And what has 2 butts and kills people? An assassin. Sidra, I'm very disappointed you didn't pop Solomonster the way we all anticipated last night. It was JD Ambrose. JD Ambrose got him, bro. Sidney Johnson. You know what AEW's pronouns are, bro? Fucking sucks. What their pronouns are. Sidney Johnson with a 199. Kenny versus Hangman, all out for the title. Why? Why would that even make sense? Captain Solo at a 5. TK should just make the ECW arena his permanent venue. At least it will always sell out and look packed. Plus, where is Deonna Purrazzo? She's going to school, bro. Apparently AEW pays for her schooling. DJ Hitton with a $5 super chat. Thank goodness I gave up on watching this dumpster fire trash show and just watch your honest reviews. I wish everybody would do that. There's no reason to tune into Tuesday night or to Wednesday nights, man. It's a complete waste. Big Haas with a 5. I'm for Roxanne winning the world title. I wrote 6-month story between her and Liv at Mania that will cook. Also, I need Obafemi versus Gunther at WrestleMania. Patience, man. It's going to happen. Oba is too good. And Phil Illuminati with a 10. I know it's brutal for you both, but thanks for doing this show consistently. Shout out to you and Jesse. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you very much. Guys, we're about to get out of here, man. Another 20 likes for 1,000. If you guys are in the chat, have not hit the thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. Make sure you guys follow us on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I'm also on Cameo, man. We fulfilled 4 cameos this week. You guys are great. Keep them coming in, man. Follow Jesse on Twitter at ChyTownSmark, YouTube, link down below to go find him. Go check out the content on the channel. Plenty of it, including last night's very good Tuesday Night Titans. Jesse, anything you want to add before we get out of here?
No, I'm gonna work on uploading a video tomorrow on the channel. So keep those alerts on and stay tuned.
There you go. Are you talking about Psycho Stu?
I think I will, man.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at what's going around because it's still evolving. It looks like.
Yeah, there's plenty of information you can get lost in there. So if you guys want to hear Jesse's take on Psycho Stu and Raja Jackson, I think that's going to be a video you want to check out. There you go. You just hit 1,000 likes. Thank you guys very much, man. I will be back maybe tomorrow with some news. Depends on what's available. If there's no news, you're not going to get me. You'll get me on Friday. Friday for SmackDown, and then remember, Clash in Paris on Sunday at 2 p.m. I will be live right here on the channel, man. Thank you guys. We're rounding out a great month of August. And until then, man, I will see you back live Friday for Friday Night SmackDown. I'll see you guys later.